The bliss of the abyss, it's here now.
Welcome back to the Bliss of the Abyss, finding freedom in the unexplored and the unexpected. How are you doing this afternoon, this evening, this morning, or whatever it is, whenever it is for you as you listen? I'm in pretty good working order, thank you very much. Looking forward to this weekend and the end of dry January, where my life once again tumbles into the mess. It's been good though, bit of, what am I trying to say? Bit of discipline, Bit of fucking discipline. What else can I say? There's not much going on right now, so I can't say much of anything. Just been keeping busy. I should plug the Patreon up top because we're now on our 28th bonus episode up there. So there's 28 hours of bonus content. If you go to patreon.com/theblissoftheabyss, you can listen to all of it for as little as £2 a month. A cup of coffee. If you enjoy the show, please consider helping out because I do all this by myself. And I love you guys who are over there supporting me. Thank you again. This week we have comedian and friend Jake Pickford on the show. And we talk about all kinds of things. We don't really get into comedy. You'll be pleased to hear. Oh, another inside comedy chat. Boring. Yeah. We don't do any of that. Instead, we talk about things like the attention economy or the BBC test card, Bezos, or is it Noah's Ark? I think at one point we talk about speculative bubbles for even half an hour. Maybe Edgar David's glasses come up as well. Who knows? There's lots of cool stuff in here. There's a lot of discussion of lampreys, America, Vince McMahon. I mean, I could get into all of it right now, but that would be pointless because you're about to listen to it. Anyway, without any further ado, without any further mumbling and bumbling and grumbling, instead, I produce a conversation between myself and the hilarious Jake Pickford. Let's do it anyway and see.
Got it.
Says it's doing it.
Do you not normally do videos?
About half the time I do videos. But
very good.
Less
I bought a game.
I know that game. One Night Werewolf.
You told me to bring a game.
Yes. Did you? I also told you to perhaps have B game and C game. Where are those?
Oh, I just thought you were having some sort of stroke at that point. I didn't think that was a real saying.
That is a real saying. Absolutely. I like that game though. It's a game.
It is a game. It's a really good game actually. Have you played it? Yeah.
It is a really good game. I played it in person, but not electronically.
I've never played it electronically. I think it's started electronically.
Like most good things. Do you remember when everyone was playing Among Us every day? What happened to that?
Yeah. Well, they just didn't change it, did they?
Yeah.
The fleeting attention span of the general globe.
I was reading this really interesting thing about this. It's not our fault, which I think this generation probably wants to hear.
No, I agree with that.
You know this Johan Hari guy? He's got this new book about attention, and he's like, it's not that our attention is fleeting, it's that it's been stolen. Your attention didn't collapse, it was stolen. They're thieves. They're robbers.
Yeah. Bastards.
They're absolute bastards.
Yeah, so I've spoken about this before. If you look at the sort of speed of how humans developed things from, say, just before the Romans to like now, the speed at which they went was pretty insane.
Yeah.
Because they had less things to distract them. There was no TV. There wasn't even light, really.
Right.
Everything was just fire, right?
Yeah.
So when it became nighttime and the fires went out, it's just fucking dark. You had nothing to do but think.
Yeah.
All you could do is just sit there and think about shit, and come up with stories, tell long ass stories. And you'd listen to those stories because that was like the biggest form of entertainment, right? It was just either watching people get bludgeoned to death, watching animals fight other animals or people, or nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So people were able to come up with more ideas easily.
Even up until like
Weren't
the
overwhelmed.
80s, like TV used to. Do you remember when TV used to finish? Like they'd be like,
Yeah.
right, well,
9
that's
o'clock, 10
the end
o'clock.
of television. Good night.
Yeah.
Sleep well.
Here's our logo for 12 hours.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I guess it ends now. Right.
And everyone was just, I guess we'll go to bed now.
I suppose so. They're kind of telling us to. It was a weird low. It was like a holding screen with like, what was it? How would you search for it? Like the girl, and there was like, was there a clown, or is this the Mandela effect? With a girl and a clown and like a chalkboard.
Was there a clown?
See, this is where the Mandela effect might be coming in. That looks like a clown, but then again,
that does look like a clown. That is a clown. Well, it's a yeah.
It was this.
Yeah, well remembered. That image sticks in my head. That one on that cup is amazing, though.
Yeah, mate.
It's a thing of beauty.
You're not going to sleep well if you have that in your room. This image might be cursed, but let's.
Is that? Wait a minute. Is that girl grown up?
Good point. Oh my God.
She that was. Well, they're like, let's reenact that because people do that all the time. They're like, hey, wouldn't it be funny?
There she is. She's fucking fit, mate. I tell you that.
Is that?
Hey, how dare
I'd say the doll's aged tremendously as well. It's done real good. Yeah, looks like it's lost a bit of weight there. I don't know.
Both been kept in storage. The doll does look a bit skinny.
She still has that cold, dead look behind her eyes.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, she's a soulless BBC drone, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah. What's funny is obviously this picture is like a lot of years later, but they actually just kept that woman in that pose for all of those years. They just
That's why the lines on the noughts and crosses are slightly thicker. She just spent the year slowly going over the line.
Yeah, you can't hear the screaming both from the chalkboard and from her. She's learned to do it with her mouth closed. She's actually a tremendous ventriloquist now.
Right, or the puppet is the actual person. She's the dummy.
The puppet was the person they employed before. That's what happens after you've done your like 30 years. She's only 39, that woman, but the years have not been kind to her.
No, absolutely not.
No, soon she'll be a doll. And the new child
cycle. We've evolved so fast that what happens is that once you die, you transmutate into a doll and then become a BBC test card from the 80s.
Exactly. And then they it's like how they select the Dalai Lama. They just take that doll and they give it to a load of babies, in which the baby like tries to pick up some chalk at the same time. So you have been you are the chosen one, and then they get to live the rest of their lives as a
Dalai Lama.
Just in case, and the BBC is such an evil corporation. They're only doing that just in case they ever bring back that splash screen again. Like they're still doing it, but they don't even use it. They don't even care. They're just like, fuck it.
Like, I reckon it's probably they are using it the whole time in subliminal messaging. It's like every 50,000th frame on the BBC is that, just to keep it somewhere in your consciousness that they control you.
Yeah. That's the only reason you could remember it, is because they let you remember it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exciting.
Oh, recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Disappeared for a second and then came back. I don't know.
I get a robot voice tell me every time you've stopped and started the recording.
Perfect. It's nice, isn't it? It's a way to feel welcomed. I think what you said there about stories and like fires and stuff, because obviously as soon as like we could control fire, like that's the whole whale oil craze, right? People went mad. It was making me think, like, the first genre of story, is that like mythology, fantasy? Because it's not today I went and I killed this animal with a rock and now we're eating it. That's not really a story. That's like what you did. But when you're sat around the campfire and you're like, once upon a time there was, you're going to ramp it up straight away. There's going to be Kronos or, whoever, pick your region. It's going to be mythology, isn't it?
Most likely, unless like there was like a Billy Connolly type
right.
back in the day, and he's just talking about like going down to the well and catching a fish, but he's like, I went down
Not bad.
this great path. Trees to the left of me, trees to the right.
Yeah, turn the everyday into something fantastic and hilarious.
Yeah,
That's
I've
true.
very much doubt that. I mean, there's only so many ways you can describe like fucking, I don't know, what did they do back then? Catch rainwater in buckets and
That's good. Hey, you could be a leader with this kind
shit.
of.
Mate, I've always said like if I was born like 100 years prior, I'd have had
Yeah.
all the good ideas. It's just like all of them have been done in the last
Hold on,
century.
wait. Amazon was only sort of like 15 years ago, and you were alive.
No. I was
What,
alive, but I wasn't living.
What do you mean?
Basically.
Because you weren't using Amazon yet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've not experienced quick delivery. It's yeah, no, you got. I actually remember when I was 10, I turned to my parents and I said, "Mother, father," because that was the
their
chosen. That was their names at the time. Yeah. I said, "Mother, father, I've had this idea for a global delivery service. We're gonna start by selling books." And they said, "Jacob." Which wasn't my name, but it doesn't matter. They said, Jacob, it wasn't even my name at the time. They said, Jacob, you have to stop this. You stop with this philanthropy and this entrepreneurial shit.
Yeah. It's a waste of time. Get back to your algebra. And you thought,
exactly, yeah. So I focused on my algebra and my arithmetic.
And where's it got you, huh? Well,
where's it got me? Yeah.
You got a shiny new microphone, and you're a leader of the world 100 years ago in an alternative reality. So,
also own a copy of One Night Ultimate Werewolf. So.
Are you going to leave that to when you leave this mortal coil?
Yeah. Your move, Jeffrey Bezos.
Have you seen his new girlfriend? Because obviously,
no.
What's weird is like these billionaires when they break up with their wife. They turn way weirder. So they've always been with their wife since like they were 15 and a nerd, right?
Yeah.
And so their wife is like a normal person. Then they get super rich, divorce their wife, and then they end up with, okay, here she is, Lauren Sanchez. They end up with these people who look sort of slightly alien.
Yeah, I know what you mean. She has a certain uncanny valley effect to her face.
Like he has invented her and is potentially thinking of shipping her around the globe at lightning fast rates. It's very weird.
I mean, I think I mean, I don't understand why you would allow yourself to look that much like Dr. Evil if you're
It's good, isn't it? I
like
like that he's leaning in. Yeah.
He really is embracing it. He's like, well, I may as well get the lazy eye, get the shiny head, get the whole thing going.
Be weirdly jacked, but like not, but like in some way, because I don't think any of the other billionaires are in any way like he looks like he's on testosterone or human growth hormone or something like that.
Yeah, he has a certain Vince McMahon look about him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's what it is, I think. Yeah. The thing about him is there's very like maybe Elon Musk is the only other billionaire that I'd be slightly concerned about if I were to get in a fight with them. Right. They might have some weird fucking shit in this, like Rick fucking Sanchez style, like Rick and Morty. Like I go to slap him and his skin turns titanium and then breaks my hand, and then he shoots a laser beam out of a third eye that he reveals and fucking.
It's not a fair fight though. If let's say technology aside, mano a mano, right?
You asked me, do I think I could take
Do you think you can take Bezos? I think Bezos is ripped. I'm not sure. Now, look, I haven't seen you for a few years. The pandemic's been rough. Have you been out?
Do you think he's ripped?
I'm not sure. I mean, there he is. That's Vin Diesel and The Rock, to be fair.
Yeah, that seems like a weird comparison, eh?
It's a bit pushing it. Unfortunately, because the internet is meme central, all we can get is doctored images.
Yeah, we really can't rely on.
So we can't really. I mean, compare him to the other billionaires. He looks a bit more ripped. Hold on, this might be real. This looks like a pap shot, mate.
Yeah, like he's rocking a Ric Flair bod. He's got his,
Yeah. He's an older wrestler. Like you said, Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
It's a good... Like, do you think you could take Vince McMahon on? He's fucking...
No. I'm not enough of a psycho to take on Vince McMahon. I think that's...
Have you seen this amazing video of Vince McMahon getting into the ring?
Did he hurt himself?
Dude, so there's this...
That'd be lovely.
He does hurt himself. There's this video where he tears both of his legs. Basically, there's some shit going on in the ring, right? Both of his quads. There we go. There's some shit going on in the ring that is like, it's, you know how they sometimes go off the script?
Yeah.
And like it's weird. It's weird, that thing with pro wrestling, because it's like it's not real, but they are doing real things that really hurt. And sometimes they do some shit that wasn't planned, and that really, really hurts. And then they sometimes like pretend to win when they weren't meant to win because it wasn't in the script, and then they're like the champion. So it's like, it must be quite hard running it. But anyway, so there's this Royal Rumble, and it's gone off script, and Vince McMahon is obviously furious. So he runs in and tears both of his quads at the same time. You can see it happen in real time.
See, the problem is I ain't going nowhere.
I mean, he walks like he's already done it. I'm not gonna lie.
Stab at me.
Okay. Let's see if we can find a video that doesn't have some weird hip hop intro music over it.
Why does he walk like a wooden mannequin?
As I am. Here we go. I think it might be this one.
He walks like there's someone pulling strings above his head.
What, all the time?
Well, in that video he did. I don't know about all the time. I've not got a big enough sample size of Vince McMahon's walking, but
here we go. Let's see
if I can.
He does look a bit like that. Look, he's furious.
Is he bending his legs?
So here we go. He runs in. Watch,
so mad.
But he still just sits down and just gives them the business.
Tries to yell at them. He's like, yeah, this is meant to have happened.
Literally at this minute, both of his quads have separated from the tendons, and he's trying to change the outcome. Look, he's changed the outcome. Look at the moment where he slides into the ring. He's on his knees. He tries to get up, and then it just goes. Have you ever had something like serious like this happen?
No.
Look at him. I tore my meniscus on the first lockdown. God, I can't watch it anymore. I tore my meniscus in the first lockdown. Just on Christmas Eve, which was nice.
Oh, lovely. What were you doing?
Well, as you know, I'm a pro athlete.
Yeah.
So what I was doing is eating dinner. And
I'm not laughing at you, by the way.
But
something got on my nose.
There's something, okay, good. Yeah, because it would be pretty cruel to laugh at me there. So I'm eating dinner, protein heavy.
Yeah.
And sometimes during dinner, I like to do some, you stand up and you sit down, and it engages the core. So I was doing some of those exercises. One of those.
There you go. Yeah.
So I stood up, and ripped my meniscus in two.
Oh yeah. Honest mate, they warn against that. They say if you're eating dinner, don't stand up if you want to be a winner. You've heard that one. Come on, man.
Fuck, I never heard that rhyme. I'd have never. Where were you?
It was like they played it just after the BBC, just before the BBC would end programming in the 90s. You don't remember?
No, I was a Manchurian Candidate. I knew it was wrapping up. I didn't need to see. Those people who wake up a minute before the alarms? I'm like that in But
By the way, that freaks me out whenever that happens to me.
What? They're waking up a minute before the alarm?
Waking up a minute before the alarm. It's the first time it happens, and you're like, oh, that's weird and unlucky. And then it happens again, and you're like, am I a fucking psychic in my dreams? How is it happening? The only conclusion I can come to is that when we dream, we become time travelers.
Okay.
It's the only logical conclusion. I've employed Occam's razor here.
This is a logical conclusion, is it?
Yeah, 100% logical.
Okay.
Think about it, right? How many times are you dreaming about something, and then a sound happens in real life,
And
but it's somehow incorporated into your dream.
That's
So
how-
it makes perfect sense in your dream, but it
Absolutely.
wakes you up in real life. It's like you'll be dreaming about like being in a chateau chased by a dog, and then all of a sudden you'll like run past a phone and the phone will start ringing. But then it turns out your phone's ringing in real life, but the timing of the dream was perfect. It's a little bit like the Inception thing where time moves at a different speed in your dreams and all that.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
gone
yeah.
one further. I think we're psychics and we can predict the actions in the universe, right?
Right. All of
In our
us, all
dreams.
humans,
Everyone, we're attached to a web.
a web. Have you been outside much lately, mate?
Not in about a year and a half.
Because of the web, it won't let you out. Yeah.
I literally, I've opened this window,
Try not.
and it's the first time I've seen the sky.
I actually had
But-
a fucking weird dream last night that's a bit like that. I was in an episode of Peep Show,
nice classic.
which I love, yeah.
Yeah.
I was with Caitlin, and we were standing in line for something, and like people were drinking coffees, right, and getting ready to like take part in this important event. And me and her, we were stood there, and we were like, hey, we've got rum. Nobody else has rum. We were having a little bit of rum, and then Mark, David Mitchell, calls me up in a very clear Mark voice, and he's like, "Are you drinking rum?" And like, 100 people or whatever in the room all turn and look at me, and for some reason at the minute, like the rum hits and I'm drunk, and I'm like, no, that thing of, like, all drunk people lie about having drunken alcohol. Like,
yeah,
why is that? What is
but
that?
badly as well.
I woke up in a cold sweat. It really freaked me out. But like, no, I mean, I guess like the group attention is the thing that freaked me out. But what it made me think of is, why do drunk people lie about drinking like that? What is that?
They know it's wrong. Deep down, deep in their soul.
Is this the web again?
They know it's a sin. We're all connected to this alcoholic web, right? And genuinely, I think what it is that most British people started drinking when they were younger, so that it's ingrained in them to lie about their their drunken state, so they just automatically lie.
We all started drinking when it was illegal, so we've all had to break the law to get alcohol at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine, right, if they ever changed the alcohol limit in this country from 18 to 21 like it is in America?
Insane.
Right?
It's insane that it's 21, but yeah, carry on.
It is insane, yeah, but it would be weird, wouldn't it, right? If they just decided one day to change it from 18 to 21. Well,
Yeah.
do you remember when cigarettes were illegal to buy for 16-year-olds?
Yeah. What the fuck was
country?
the reasoning behind that?
I don't know, but the year that I turned, I think it was 16, was the year that they, and had been smoking for a while, was the year that they changed it to be 18. So I had like these 2 years where I was like, what the fuck would they do that for?
You didn't stock up?
No, of course not. Yeah. I was buying one cigarette at a time, 50p.
2 C's, eh? Nice. Were you in the wire?
yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah, that's a weird one. Do you think they'll lower, like they lower certain ages, don't they? They lower ages of consent. Like they lowered the homosexual age of consent to be in line with the heterosexual age of consent.
Yeah, which was kind of insane that it wasn't.
Yeah, for a long time.
It's quite.
That's pretty recent, in fact, weirdly.
You can kind of look at it objectively now and be like, that's really hilarious that they were kind of like that concerned that if it was, first of all, that they think that people like stick to the laws so much that them being like, it's 18 for homosexuality, sex, and all the gay people were like, oh, well, I guess we'll have to wait 2 more years.
Imagine, the couple in the bedroom being like, oh, we're just about to fuck, but let's just wait for 2 years.
What if they catch us?
What if they're watching? I mean, and very much the attitude when it was 18 was, right, for homosexuals, it's 18. And by God, you know what? You are lucky that we're even giving it. Because quite frankly, we think it should be illegal. That's
It should be 30.
that attitude had like very quickly. My brother's really into this idea of like shifting cultural attitudes, and he like tracks it via like opinion polls. And I'm always like, well, opinion polls is like a small portion of the, but he's like, yeah, but still you get some idea of the trends. And it's like, you see some trends are pretty steady public opinion over time. But in terms of like gay marriage, gay partnerships, the rate at which that changed is so swift. It's no longer part of any mainstream party's agenda at all. That's within our lifetime. Like, when was it changed from? I feel like that was within what, the last 20 years?
What, from 16 to 18?
Yeah.
Was it after the gay marriage law was passed? Because that was in 2010, I think.
I think it was after that, but maybe it was just around that.
Well, David Cameron was the one that brought it in.
It was Cameron, yeah.
Same-sex marriage. I think he was the one that changed the legal age as well. I don't remember. I was thinking about those opinion polls. Have you ever been asked to take part in an opinion poll?
Never.
See, I don't know anyone that ever has.
This is my thing with my brother. I'm like, Tom, like, who takes the polls?
Yeah, it kind of seems to me like the kind of people that would be willing to seek out partaking in those polls are the kind of people that I don't probably agree with on a lot of things. Do you know what I mean?
It's like either they're doing it over the phone, in which case most people are busy at work.
Yeah.
Or they're stopping you on the street, in which case most people are like, I'm busy, even if they're not, because they don't want to talk to anyone on the street.
Yeah. Or is it like,
who is stopping and taking the 15 minutes or whatever? And by the way, I'm self-employed. I do sometimes have some time in the day. I'd love a phone call.
Oh, man, I'd be more than happy. Someone come to my door and they're like, "Oh, we're doing one of these government surveys you always hear about." I'm like, "Fucking finally!"
Thank God. But then when they leave your house, you realize it's a scam and they've robbed you.
Yeah, it's like, where's all my everything gone? I'm sure we had stuff before, didn't I? That's always a worrying thing. I'm paranoid about that shit, man. I'm always at the door, like looking behind me. It's all one thing when I was a kid. No, I've never been scammed.
Really?
I don't know. Scam's a pretty broad term, right? I mean, what do you mean by scammed?
Well, check your bank balance right now, and I think you'll see. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess scam. I guess I mean in a way like conned, not like. So, for example, someone managed to nick my credit card details the other day and bought some shit on Just Eat, right? But that's not me being scammed. That's someone finding my details somehow, right? Yeah. A scam is more like, mate, will you do this for me? I promise I'm good. And then you find out it was all a lie.
Yeah, never really that. Not really. I don't know that I can think of.
It's happened once to me, but my friend was an addict and going through some pretty tough. So I'm not sure that's quite the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
because like someone called me the other day from Afghanistan. It came up on the phone, Afghanistan.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting because I've got lots of friends and family in Afghanistan. So I answered the phone and they said, "Hello." I'm not going to do the accent.
I appreciate that.
This is Amazon. There's been some unusual activity on your account. Now, sometimes I entertain them, but I was just not in the mood. I just hung up. I just thought, I don't know who's going to fall for that scam, but clearly people do. And I think something like during the COVID pandemic, you might have heard of it, scams are like way up, no? This is not part of the web.
What? The what pandemic?
SARS-CoV-2, you might know it as.
COVID.
That's not how I pronounce it, but yeah.
No, is it Vide or Vid?
Coronavirus. How about that? You ever heard of that?
Coronavirus. They're making viruses from beer now? Fucking no. Sorry. What is it? 2019?
These are some good bits from 2019. That's fine.
I know, right? Jesus. So Trump's finally out, eh?
No, he's not. He's about to be reinstated any minute. What? Or even better, there's people who think he still is president. There's this.
Oh, he never lost in Georgia.
He never lost. Not only did he never lose, but he's somehow still in power and still flying on Air Force One, despite all of the, quote unquote evidence to the contrary.
Videos, pictures.
Yeah, all of that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was back in power.
What about that phone call? Have you heard the phone call to the person in Georgia where he's like, I just need 11,761 votes. And like, that's literally the amount that he lost the election by -1.
I just need. It's like as if someone's going to be like, oh, why don't you say so?
Was that it? Oh, mate. What we were doing is counting up all the votes that came in. I didn't realize what we were meant to do is give you enough to win.
Like, yeah. It's like one for Biden, one for the bin, one for Biden. That's how you do it.
Coming in for the election and strong showings for the bin this year.
Yeah, exactly. It's a close race between Biden and the bin with Trump. The thing is, what I was worried about, right? As someone that doesn't live in America and therefore is not hugely affected by Donald Trump, like still affected, but not hugely, right? It's hilarious. It's objectively hilarious to watch him be president of any country, right? He could have been president of Tanzania and it would have been objectively hilarious to watch. Better. Maybe, because he'd have known less about it, which is quite impressive. Yeah. Given the fact that didn't he once be like the president of Puerto Rico should sort out the country? Yeah. And it's like you are the president. But like I was worried that when Biden got elected it was going to be shit and like we'd have a boring American president that isn't entertaining in any way. But have you watched that man try and get a sentence out?
He's very, very old.
Any pressure. It's amazing.
Very old.
We'll show them the people
it would be like
it's like he gives up. It's like he gets upset about the beginning of the sentence and can't commit to the end of it.
Yeah, well, because he's forgotten it. It's not his fault. Like it's like if he was round the table at Christmas, either someone would be like, "Okay, Granddad, it's okay," or they'd let him sort of do his thing for a bit, because it's a bit. Or he's in a care home, and then you just have to sit there and nod. As he goes, and then my legs are hairy too. And I remember in 1960, I found this apple. And just keep...
And they were never hairy when I was younger. They weren't hairy, but now they're hairy. And I don't know when the hair started growing, and all of the hair is everywhere, and it's all over my body, and it's spreading. Yeah. And is it concerning? I don't. It's just like okay.
Yeah.
Wheel him away. Yeah. I enjoy watching him do it.
I think he's good.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
He seems like you say, like the pleasant, polite old man. Yeah. You kind of like go into a shop, not assuming it. You ever been in a queue in a shop?
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oh yeah. So many queues. I'm the queue king. They call me the cutie.
You're talking my language.
I feel like Joe Biden is the kind of man that strikes a conversation with anyone about anything in their basket. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, "Oh, fish fingers. I remember the first time I had fish fingers," and then you're stuck. And then you're stuck listening to this old man tell you about fish fucking fingers.
He's the guy.
Like it matters.
If you're in the supermarket and you're like trying to pick which is the quickest lane, you're like, "Oh my God, it's just one dude with a small basket. I'm going to jump in behind him." Little do you know that was the wrong choice.
Oh no.
And 20 minutes later.
Every item that day has a story that both you and the checkout person are equally unenthused to hear.
It would be quite good if instead of, the automated checkouts, they've always, weirdly enough, they're mainly female and they're always quite jolly, right?
Yeah.
It would be like, "Thank you for shopping at Sainsbury's." Why are they all female? That's a bit of a weird thing.
I think it's because if they were male, 50% of the customers would try and fight them.
It'll cost you £1.50. Oh yeah, is that
Oh,
right?
will it? Fucking will it? £1.50, mate. Yeah, fucking lump him. It's pretty much it, isn't it? I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not also joking. I'm kind of being serious. Like, as a whole sexist thing, like, it's the same reason that sat nav voices are generally female, Alexa and things like that. It's like shouting orders at a woman, bossing them around, telling them what to do, that kind of thing.
Right. So you feel like because of the inherent misogyny, we're more comfortable sort of giving orders to a female assistant than a male one.
Unfortunately, yeah. And I don't think people have thought about it enough for it to be like an issue or anything like that. But I just think subconsciously that's probably what it is.
Even worse than that, I think they might have like thought about it and be like, hey, we're inclusive, so we'll have a female voice to it. And actually what they're doing is perpetuating negative stereotypes. So I say take the jobs away from the women. Wait a second, what have we done?
No, I honestly think we should make one of those automatic payment machines at supermarkets president of the United States. I mean, I think that's the only reasonable conclusion from this whole thing. We gain balance to power.
Yeah. If the voice of Biden came out when you were scanning your thing, that.
Yeah, but with a story for every item.
Oh, petit pois. Well, I remember when I like fucking no.
Oh, Durex condoms. Did I ever tell you about my son Hunter Biden?
Sells art. What's his art like? Is it good?
Who, Joe Biden does art?
No, Hunter Biden sells art.
Oh, does he? I don't know. Have you seen George Bush's art?
I've seen George Bush's art. It's really
quite good. It's quite good. I think
it's not bad. I don't hate it. It's like, but there's that weird thing of he's just like copying like photos and just...
I don't think he has a particular style. What's hilarious is the subject matter he's chosen to paint is immigrants, which how do you not see the irony?
I do like the fact that he's kind of become a bit more accepted just because everything's got so much worse. Like he is a war criminal who everyone hated. Everyone, obviously, he was voted in for 2 terms, but you know what I mean. And now it's like, he's all right. Yeah. I mean, look at this guy. We don't want. It's weird.
Silly old George now, isn't it? It's kind of like, exactly. he was harmless, and he's like, well, he was harmless depending on the country you lived in.
Depending on if you lived in a certain village or not. But
I always love the I'm not a massive Family Guy fan anymore, but I do. There was one joke in Family Guy that I think is one of the best jokes ever written, and it's when they go and visit Ground Zero, where the Twin Towers used to be, and they go
still on.
Brian's like Peter's like, so this is the site of the first guy that got AIDS, and Brian's like, Peter, that's not what this is. And he's like, this is the site of 9/11. And he's like, what's that? And he's like, there was a terrorist attack. And he's like, I can't remember. He says something like, it's like, I can't remember what Peter says, but Brian's like, it was a load of Lebanese and Palestinian-led fighters from Saudi Arabia and from blah 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 chose to attack America. And Peter's like, so what you're saying is we should invade Iraq? It's just it's just great. It's like, all of these things happen that have nothing to do with this Middle Eastern country. And then Bush is like, I gotta defend my daddy.
Yeah, exactly. Finish daddy's business. 100%.
Well, that's what it was, because Saddam Hussein had an assassination attempt against George Bush Sr. Which is basically the driving force behind the Iraq War. But you can't really say that. You can't really not like not like some conspiracy. I mean, like George Bush Jr. can't turn around and be like,
that's why I did it.
We're invading 2 countries in the Middle East because one of their leaders decided to have a pop at my dad in the 70s.
Yeah, he couldn't say that, but I reckon this is the weird thing about like Trump. I reckon Trump could have just actually said that and just done it. That's the weird thing about how things shift. He's like, he did just say like the shit that he was actually thinking, and then just people were like,
yeah. If you think about it, politically wise, it was kind of low key, not that problematic. So like, And I don't think he ever wanted to go to a war or anything like that. I think there's a difference between what
Right.
he did and what he thinks he can get away with
Right.
versus what he thinks public image like can't be fixed. So I think he thinks that, say for example, George Bush is beyond redemption as far in the public eye, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas he always had a second term in mind. And I think honestly, there's a strong chance that Joe Biden may forget to breathe one day, and Donald Trump could be in power sooner
He'll
than
come
we
back,
think.
roaring back. God, I fucking hope not. That would be a ridiculous situation.
It would be, but it's the only way to guarantee that he can never come back.
What? Because there's a 2-term limit. So
Yeah.
get it out the way. Is that what you're saying? That's the only way we can.
Just to guarantee that he never comes back, and also to like maybe get him in prison, like give him 4 more years to fuck up shit.
Right. And then
I mean, we're talking about American politics, but let's be honest, this country is.
Well, did you see the news today about there was a new another Downing Street party happened, another one, this time on the eve of Prince Philip's funeral. So Number 10 has had to like issue this like apology to the Queen. Like, how many fucking parties were they having? I mean, nobody. The only person I know who's having more parties is this ex-housemate of my brother, who was like one evening he was like, I've just been up raving all night with my sister in a graveyard. It's mental, innit? Because before pandemic, I wasn't really partying that much. I mean, I was partying, but now it's like everyone's partying even more, isn't it? And my brother was like, no, it's not like that. Nobody's doing that. It's you.
It's just you and the entire political population.
Yeah. And apparently just all of it's deeply regrettable this took place. This one and the other 2 and 4 more you've yet to find out about. Whoops.
I was about to say, yeah, I love that. Did you see he got questioned by a reporter, Boris Johnson did, and he said, someone said, is it true that you had a party in Downing Street and do you regret it? And he said, everything is coming out in the Sugre investigation. And the reporter said, so are you saying that you did or didn't have a party? And he said, everything will be out in the report, which I think is interesting, very telling, because what he's saying there is that the driving force in everything that he does and reveals to the public is not honesty, but the result of investigations.
Yes.
So he'll never come clean about anything unless it comes out through an investigation.
Yes.
Now, what is insane to me, right, is the amount of people that are saying things like, it's not that he had parties, it's that he lied about having parties. And I'm there like, bitch, it is both. It is. You know what I mean? That's like that's like looking at fucking Hitler and being like, it's not the genocide. It's the fact that he tried to deceive the German people. And you're like, no, it isn't.
Yeah. The genocide I was on board with, but when he was burning the documents.
You know what I mean? It's like your partner cheating on you and being like, it's not the gonorrhea. It's the lies.
Yeah, it's the drunk people lying again. The whole party thing in Number 10 is all drunk people pretending they're not drunk. It's the same fucking thing.
Exactly, yeah.
We've got a government doing it. But I don't usually watch like PMQs or whatever, but I was around my mate's house. We were meant to be writing a sitcom, and obviously there was an excuse to watch PMQs that after it all come out instead of doing work. And it is, I mean, politically, as a tactic, it's kicking the can down the road. And that just means that when the report comes out, he goes, well, the report did clarify everything.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, it's all moved on. It's like, but I think we should focus on It's like, it's weird political theatre. Also, to slightly change tack, because, there was, when you listen to House of Commons, it's really weird, right? There's all these weird, like, archaic functions. They don't talk to each other over. They all talk to Mr. Speaker this, Mr. Speaker that. They all stand up at various points, but it's unclear really what they're standing up for. Because it's not your turn. Obviously, they're doing their back and forth thing. But they all, they do their stand up thing. But one of them one of them got pointed to, and it's like, and I wasn't really listening at this point, but then my ears perked up because she had an American accent, and it was like, it's like a rip in the Matrix, because you never hear, you hear like, okay, so this is from Burnley, he's from Scunthorpe, he's from Gloucestershire, right? And then suddenly it was an American, and I looked it up. It's like this ex-actress who moved to the UK and became a local MP in like 2019, who's American born, the third ever American born MP. It was really weird.
Do you know what's weird to me is that my internal reaction was, how fucking shit dare she? Do you know what I mean? Like, as soon as you like American accent, I was like, send her back, get her out.
I think
that's the only time I'd be racist or xenophobic.
Well, I think it's xenophobic. I don't think they're a race. I think that is what the Americans feel about like their late night TV, because it's all James Corden,
Craig Ferguson,
John
James
Oliver.
Oliver, yeah.
Yeah, it's all of the. Did you say Jamie Oliver? Imagine if he took over.
I don't know. John Oliver, Jamie Oliver, they're not anything to do with the same thing. John Oliver's great.
They've got a podcast together. He is fucking great, isn't he?
What, the two Olivers?
Yeah, John and Jamie, the Olivers.
Yeah, it's cooking and politics, isn't it? That's right. Yeah. Let's cook the shit out of politics.
Cook the shit out of politics. There we go. Well, I mean, we joke about it, but fucking Obama and Springsteen had a podcast. So, Did
they really?
Yeah.
I hope so.
No, that's not a joke. That's genuinely true. I don't know what it's called, and I quite frankly don't care about all the.
It should be called
Glad Hand.
Yes, we Cadillac. No, that's terrible.
It's called Renegades Born in the USA. So it's worse than you could have ever imagined.
That is way worse.
You were trying to come up with something like clever and punny, perhaps. Instead, they've just lent in Born in the USA. And then Renegades. What? How? Like one of the biggest selling rock stars and an ex-US president. Look at this.
Renegades.
Mate.
Maybe I don't know what renegades means. Maybe I've been going my whole life thinking I thought renegades meant like rebels going against the system.
I believe that is what it means, but also it means a podcast with Springsteen and Obama where they talk about fatherhood for 40 minutes and 55 seconds. Want to have a listen?
Christ, I can't imagine there's much in there. Pretty easy.
Hey. You be Obama, I'll be Bruce. How does Bruce talk?
He talks like a renegade, mate. An American, red-blooded,
sorry, it should be
cold beer drinking renegade. I have no idea how Bruce Springsteen. I always get Bruce Springsteen and Rick Springfield confused.
So who's Rick Springfield? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's another American singer guy.
Is he?
He sang. It's Rick Springfield. Wait, Bruce Springsteen,
yeah.
Yeah, and Rick Springfield. And Rick Springfield had songs cool. Oh, Jesse's Girl. He did Jesse's Girl.
Jesse's Girl. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't ever know who that was by.
It's a great song.
It is a good tune, yeah. I like that one.
It's like his only good song. No. Just that.
It's what you need, though, actually, isn't it?
I would like. Apparently, there's a lot of songs referencing him.
Okay. And who
including a song called "Je suis Rick Springfield."
What is the story of the song Jesse's Girl? I only know the chorus. I don't really know what Jesse's Girl is about. Is it like he's jealous of someone else?
Jesse's got himself a girl and I want to make him mad. And she's watching him with those eyes. Yeah, it's just being jealous. And she's hugging him with the body. I just know it. It's kind of a weird song if you think about it. Because he's basically like his friend has got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he just really wants to fuck that girlfriend. And he's like, I'll write a song about it. I'm sure it won't be weird. Imagine playing that, I'll write a new song. You want to hear it, mate? And he's like, I'm Jesse. In progress.
There we go. Back again.
He's just like, I have a different friend called Jesse.
Yeah. It's not about you, mate. I've got lots of friends called Jesse. Jesse is a friend. I know he's been a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Lately,
Lately
something's
something's
changed.
changed and it's hard to define.
You know what's even better? I've just found out Rick Springfield's an Aussie, so this is much funnier if you do it in an Aussie accent, which we are allowed to do. We're still
Yeah,
allowed to.
Jesse is a friend. Friend. Wait, that's New Zealand. I can never do.
Close enough. I'm still allowed to say that. I'll be cancelled in 5 years when they replay this.
Yeah, how dare you?
No,
Do
I
you know
feel
what's
so
weird?
feel so
Have a
dirty when
quick-
they start talking cute.
I start talking cute.
What's
So
weird?
the point is probably mute. I've got a New Zealand accent in my head because I watched Hunt for the Wilder People the other day.
I love
which is
that
one of
film.
so fucking good, man.
Fucking great.
Wanted to see it for such a long time. Sorry, I swear too much as well. It's
Sorry.
just being sat in front of a webcam.
That's fucking okay, mate. Don't
I
worry.
stream on Twitch all the time, and I swear like a champion on there. Anyway, what's weird to me is Rick Springfield's real name
Yeah.
is Richard Lewis Springthorpe.
Mm.
Now,
Mm.
what would compel someone to change their name from Rick Springthorpe to Rick Springfield? And which one do you prefer?
I think I prefer Springthorpe.
I do as well.
Sounds
Maybe
a bit
that's
more
an English
unique.
thing.
But I guess it sounds like choosing Springfield sounds like you're going a bit more mainstream acceptance somehow, because it's like familiar. Springthorpe you haven't heard as many times as Springfield. Springfield somehow is just more common. There's Buffalo Springfield. There's The Simpsons.
Well, The Simpsons came out
That's presumably why he chose that name.
72, 82. So like 27 years after his musical debut.
But in the web, they were around at the same time and have always been and always will be.
This is true. Do you know what's interesting is I don't think there are that many Springthorpes in America, but I think there are a lot of Springfields. So there is a chance that he did it, yeah, like you say, to connect with a wider audience.
Yeah, because there's this. Do you know this band Buffalo Springfield? Hold on.
No, but that sounds delicious. I don't know why.
This song. It sounds a lot like Velvet Underground, really. But you know this tune, right?
Oh yeah, I do.
And they stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody's out.
Yeah, Bill was slowing down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've heard it sampled in many things as well.
Yeah.
I think Public Enemy sampled it.
Sick.
I think. Not 100% sure. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know why you would choose. I always wonder the logic behind like some celebrity name changes. Like I think Davy Jones is a pretty cool name for a singer. I don't know why you would change it to David Bowie.
Yeah. I guess because he's from Wales and like Jones is like the most common name of all. That's like the opposite of Rick Springfield, right? He's trying to be unique and different instead of sort of mainstream acceptance. And ironically, he actually became even more famous because of that. And then you have some of the name changes is like, especially early Hollywood, but still happens today, is like basically Jewish people trying to make themselves sound more waspy. So they'll anglicize their surname. That still happens.
Also, the fact that there's a lot of people that change their name if there's someone else in like a similar industry that has the same name. I know that happens quite a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Equity are like, sorry, we've already got one. Like Ed Knight, Ed Day.
Yeah. I've just learned now that Woody Harrelson's real name is Woodrow Harrelson. And I'd never really thought about that before.
Yeah, Woody.
Woodrow is such a good name.
Woodrow Harrelson. If he runs for office, use Woodrow.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'm just trying to think about the actors now, see if they have
who's got different names.
Weird different stage names. Yeah.
I know
I'm so disappointed
Cruise. Tom Cruise's last name isn't Cruise. Cruise is like his middle name. He's got like some odd last name that's not memorable.
Mapother.
Yeah.
Mapother.
Map
The fourth as well.
the fourth
Of course, he's the fourth.
in a proud line of Mapathers.
Yeah. That's his surname. I've never heard that surname before. Mapother. How would you even pronounce that?
No idea. Sounds. What does it sound? Sounds Northern European.
Maybe his family. I don't know. It does sound Northern European. It sounds. Oh, here you go. Origin. Name origin. Look at that. Fucking everything. Devon. First one in Devon. Devon. Yeah.
Okay.
Diminished after the Battle of Hastings, apparently, which, as we know, is in 1066. Thank you, Hastings Direct.
I was in Hastings for New Year's, and they're quite into the whole Battle of Hastings thing.
Really? It's like, it is like their thing.
It's
though,
their
isn't it?
thing, big
You
time.
know?
And there's like the site of like the first castle, and there's these like things that you read about as you walk along. And one of the things is during the initial invasion, they had like a prefab wooden castle on one of their ships. So like, imagine being in Hastings at that time. This ship comes in, you're like, oh fuck, there's a ship. Better tell my mates. You talk to your mates. You turn around, and there's a fucking castle already. You would be like, we're fucked, aren't we?
So do you mean like almost like a caravan, but if it was a castle at the time? Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's more like, imagine like IKEA. So it was like flat pack, and they just went, just put it all together.
Damn, that's impressive. That's
Yeah.
like Amish barn building, but for castles, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
they're the ones that build the barns, right?
They're the ones that build the barns, yeah. And I think they're the ones that built the life-size Noah's Ark, I think, that's in America. Have you seen that?
Size.
Dude. As in, you can go and walk around it, and it's a museum, and they teach you like creation.
No. I meant so you're saying that you could fit 2 of every animal on it. Is that what? They'll be fucking impressed. Holy shit, that is big though.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
You can go in it, and I think like it's basically to the specifications from the Bible, although I believe they might have changed a few things around because you know,
it's
those measurements might not quite be there we go.
Real.
So if you want to see the art full size,
That's actually good. That's well done them.
I'm not fully against it.
I'm not weirdly fully against it either.
I'm guessing there might be some strange interpretations of history inside, but that's just probably my prejudice.
It's almost a bit like, it'd be like walking through Middle Earth. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Ooh,
you know,
I like that.
It's fine. You can suspend your disbelief in the holy shit. Look at that. Fucking hell, that's massive.
It really is. I think you could fit a few giraffes and rhinos and elephants on that.
I want to know. Yeah, you could. Yeah, well, you don't need 2.
I only need 2
of each. I'd love to see the inside. I want to know if they have specific holding cells for like aqua. Like, was there like a reptile and then a amphibian section?
Of course. Yeah, because you'd need like, you know, heat lamps for the reptiles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Or a sunlight of some description.
Yeah. And how are you keeping the butterflies involved? That's going to be tricky.
You have to keep them away from the SpongeBobs.
Exactly. Oh, can't the SpongeBobs go in the ocean though? A few things can just stay in the ocean, can't they?
That's true. Actually, you don't need a fish section because if the world's flooded, then like fish have just kind of gained land.
Imagine being Mrs. Noah and coming back and finding out Noah's spent half of the ark building this aquarium. You're like, you fucking. Do you not understand
it's
what
a fucking flood, mate? Not a fucking fire.
I can't believe I have to restart civilization with you dick.
How have you not thought about this? To be fair, as well, thinking about it, you wouldn't even need any birds because
they could just fly around.
They can fly around and land on shit when they need to. You know what I mean?
How big is the flood? Is the flood covering Mount Everest? Like, is it the tallest peak on Earth is completely submerged, or there'll be a few things where birds can chill out?
I can't imagine it's like fucking the entire world turns to like a water planet for a bit, and then it gets absorbed by
like
a load of sponges.
If every bit of ice on Oh,
There we go.
oh, we lost connection again.
We did. But you're onto an interesting point there. If every bit of ice.
Yeah, if everything that was ice on Earth melted, how high would the level rise? Like what's the ceiling? I don't think it can get up to fucking Everest. No way.
Nah, that seems like a lot, doesn't it? But then again, I don't like, because it would only need to rise a minimal amount for us to not be able to find out the answer to that question. Do you know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's always interesting.
Oh, here we go. I found it.
Well, the answer.
Well, I mean, depends if you believe nationalgeographic.co.uk.
Mate, they work for big geography. They've got agendas.
As we all know, the most powerful organization conglomerate on the planet, Big Geography.
Headed by David Attenborough himself.
It would raise by 216 feet. That's it. That's nothing.
That's not a lot, is it? I mean, is it weird? I'm sitting there going, mate, I'll fucking plug that leak right up.
I'll have that. No.
Bit of silicon.
Here we go. There's London's fucked, but certain bits. Amsterdam is screwed.
Yeah, well, that's like one of the lowest countries in the world, isn't it?
Hence the name, right?
Latvia and all of them are fucked.
They're all fucked.
I'm
guessing Bangladesh disappears. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, look at this. All of the Philippines and all of the all Singapore and everything like that. Yeah, done.
Yeah, done. Well, there we go.
Done.
Australia powers on through though.
Yeah,
there we go.
Australia is like mostly fine. Sydney is just going to get a little bit closer to the coast.
What's quite cool is that Antarctica would finally have a bit of green on it, so it's not all bad. Well
done on. Oh, it does say West Island. I was like, well done on identifying that landmass, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
Just say that. That's what I said. This was really
in a quiz. Antarctica.
Yeah, that's Antarctica, mate. Recognise that shape anywhere. How many of the continents have you had the pleasure of visiting?
Okay, so let's think. Does Central America count as South America?
I mean,
don't think it does it?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does geographically.
Does it?
I think so. I think South America begins at Mexico, right?
Hold on. Mexico is North America.
It begins at the bottom end of Mexico.
At the bottom of Mexico.
Yeah, so like
Honduras, Belize, Costa Rica, all of those El Salvador, etc.
Yeah, where is the line actually?
That's interesting. I wonder if it's there or if it's the other end, which would be like, is it Panama? The one that like cuts on the top. I don't know. Which one is it? Have you found out?
In the north to Chile, that can't be right.
Really?
No, that can't be right.
Chile is definitely South America. It's got the Andes.
Like that would mean Colombia is in North America. Sure.
Yeah, like that's mental. South America is actually only Argentina. Now fuck off.
Yeah. You can have some of Brazil as well if you want. But this says and I don't know how to pronounce that. Isthmus of Panama.
Yeah, so that's like the strait.
So the Panama Canal would be the
Panama Canal is what cuts it.
Divides it.
Interesting. Okay, so I've not been to South America then. So that means Central America is North America.
Yeah.
Yeah, still haven't been to South
Latin America. Oh wait, but this map is very confusing because what? I don't know. I think it's just Panama. Panama separates it. Where were you? Mexico then, yeah?
No, I haven't been to Mexico. I've been to Costa Rica and
I'd love to go I'd love to live in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica's awesome.
Politically, they're fucking
they're bang on it. They are nailing it. And people are very happy with it as well. So it's a really good place to visit. It's amazing. I think it's got more biodiversity than most of Europe. just in this tiny little tropical paradise landmass.
Yeah. A lot less. There's not that much that can kill you there in terms of like, you know.
No. And the
Spiders
standard of
and
living's
shit like
really
that.
high. Sanitation is all good. You can drink the tap water. The roads are good. I mean, public healthcare. What more do you want? It's fucking wicked.
Yeah, it's a
Unfortunately,
very socialist government as well, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Which is the problem. No. Yeah. So I've been there, North America,
Fucking
Asia,
communism.
Europe, Australia. Is that its own continent? Yeah. Australasia, Oceania.
Oceania.
Yeah.
Australasia is a group of 3 countries. Oceania is the name of the continent, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Australasia is like
I've been there. Yeah, it's like when that old word Eurasian, you know that one?
Yeah, European Asian. That's basically Israel. That's basically it, I think. It's like Israel.
Eurasia as well.
Maybe like I think Russia is kind of like Eurasia.
Right. Yeah. And Turkey might be that as well, right? Because it's got like a bit of both.
Maybe, yeah.
I think the capital's in Europe of Turkey.
What, Istanbul?
I think so, yeah.
Mm.
One of those ones that spreads a little bit.
It's almost like borders are meaningless.
Almost like somebody just arbitrarily. It's really good. You know when you see like a map of like the states, the US, the different states. It's so funny how some of them are just like straight line.
I know.
And then there's like the more contested ones where it's like it's okay, that's where the fights were.
One of them is like literally a fucking square. I can't remember which one it is though. It's like Portland or something like that. Oregon, I guess, would be.
No, but
No,
that's on the coast.
Wyoming.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Colorado, actually, looking at this map. Yeah, Wyoming and Colorado are just like fucking perfect squares.
Beautiful. Nothing like it.
It's, like you said, it's crazy because then you look at like Florida, for example, and it's like this janky bit, but then it goes along for ages.
Yeah.
It like the length of 2 other states. It's and then also if you look at just like the fucking size of Texas. Dude. Compared to like Texas, the Pacific Northwest fits into Texas. Like Washington, Oregon, Idaho, all fit into Texas. So it's an insane country.
It is.
Like, and the cultural differences. I've been to Florida and Washington. Yeah. So I really want to go to I want to visit California and Maine. So I've done all 4 corners.
Nice.
Which would be quite funny. And then do somewhere smack bang in the middle, like Kansas or fucking Nebraska.
One of the square states. Got to get in there.
Yeah. Go Colorado. Actually, Colorado would be a fun one. They were the first state to legalize marijuana.
Yeah, man. Rocky Mountain High.
Hell yeah.
Get in on it. Maine, I think, is probably freezing fucking cold.
Yeah. It looks it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Well, just any up there, really. So, like New Hampshire, Vermont, any of those things.
I don't know much about those. I've not been there. I've been to New York and Connecticut, Pennsylvania, but that's about it around there.
Connecticut. Yeah. I've you went to Pennsylvania. Did you visit Scranton?
No, unfortunately. I did see the Amish though.
You did? Good.
Yeah, they were good. Met this guy called Levi.
I think that's like an Amish called Levi, eh?
Driving a horse and buggy.
It's a very biblical name, isn't it?
Yeah, he was leaning in a bit. I mean, you know,
they tend to, mate. They tend to. They really embrace that whole hat thing.
Yeah, definitely. He was into the hat. He had the Michael Levis sideburns, the beard, all that stuff. Nice. The weirdest part about it is we went on this horse and buggy ride with a family from East Asia. I don't know where, but they were East Asian. They didn't speak English, or rather rudimentary English. And then we finished the buggy ride. You know, he'd been sort of telling us, that's my farm, that's my brother's, you know, shed, etc. We get him out. And we're like, thank you very much, Levi. He's like, mm-hmm. And then the mum of this family group who spoke the best English, she takes out a notebook and starts asking him very detailed questions about his horses and writing down the answers to the questions, which is something I've never understood to this day. What was going on there?
I think I can answer that. Sounds like a horse MOT. So,
of course,
you got to think about these things, mate. You got to think about these things.
I've
You
never
know,
put two and two together. It's so obvious.
yeah, he's getting his horse serviced in MOT. That's how you do it. You know, how's its shit been? Has it been eating well? Was it able to dance? I don't know.
Yeah, what's
I've
its
never
top
owned
speed?
a
Is it
horse.
leaking oil?
Yeah. What else do horses do? Is it got good eyes? I don't know.
Right. Eyes.
Well, their eyes are on like the side of their head, man. I knew what I was doing.
Do you know how much horsepower one horse has?
2.7.
More annoying than that.
Is it? Is it like 1.1?
15.
15 horsepower. That's everything about that annoys me.
Sorry, I told you. 1 horsepower has 15 horsepower. What the fuck? Could you lift something 15 times your own weight? I don't think so. That seems outrageous.
No. I don't think any human could. But that's really annoyed me. You've ruined my entire day. Doesn't
fit, does it? Why didn't they just go 1 for 1? What's the problem with giving one horse 1 horsepower?
I figured it out.
Go on.
Right. So there were people back then.
Yep.
They really only ever tried things once.
Okay.
Right. So what they did is they got, all right, we got this genius idea for measuring the speed of like carts and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah.
And guys like, what's that? He's like, well, we're doing horsepower, right? Because horses run, and as we all know, all horses run at exactly the same speed. So we'll just get this horse, but they didn't know that they actually got a really slow horse,
right,
who was also really full. So they measured this horse, and then one guy was like, does that horse not seem particularly slow to you? And the guy was like, no, it's just because you see him in the front of carriages, and it's like an illusion thing. You don't really. So we tested the horse, and they were like, really? 1 horse, is that something? They were like, yeah. And then they got another horse, and they were like, holy fuck, this horse is 15 times faster than the norm.
I like how quickly you've come up with it. Does seem like quite a lot of mental gymnastics to justify what
this is called a compliment sandwich that you're giving me right now.
Yes, and to finish off, well done.
Finish off, lovely hair. Yeah, no, it's the only conclusion I can think of. I actually think I think it is something to do with horse carts, but I can't remember. I think I heard that on QI.
Does that still exist? Haven't they gone through the whole alphabet at this point?
Sandy Toksvig has to do her alphabet now. It's different because it's a lady.
Okay. Yeah.
She's got the lady alphabet now.
Right. And Stephen Fry's relegated to doing the self-checkouts.
Yeah, exactly. Where he'll eventually become president of the United States.
It's the circle of life.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. It's the natural progression from one line of work to the other. I actually think Stephen Fry would make quite a good American president.
Not a good British one, though. Too divisive.
Oh, no, awful. We don't have presidents.
No,
so
yeah.
it'd be weird and jarring.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah.
Like, and now your new president, Stephen Fry. And we'd be like, president of what? What company does he own? It'd be very confusing. I always get the word president and principal mixed up.
I always
like Donald Trump was the principal of America.
Yeah. Well, is he? Wait, to be clear, again, he isn't. It's Joe Biden. I know this is a sticking point. We won't get. I'm always confused where, like France, they've got a president and a prime minister. Same. It's like, come on, guys, make your mind up. What do you mean?
Well, do you know what it is? I think they beheaded their monarchy in like the 1800s.
Correct.
And then they were like, fuck, what do we do? What do we do? Panic. They're like, what do we need? A czar? No, that's too far.
Wait.
Should be enough. An emperor? No, not an emperor. We can't have an emperor. Prime Minister, President.
No,
yes,
we're
both.
all equals, you idiots. Everybody is equal. So everyone's in charge. Wow. Well, we might need, I don't know, maybe one man. Two? Oh, okay.
Two? No. Finally, a sensible suggestion. Now, what do we do with this head?
I do like the way, like Cromwell's brief reign. He, comes in, he's like, the monarchy is a disgrace. It's an outdated old system. Get rid of it. Kill the king. I shall be the crown protector. I am in sole charge. Like,
yeah.
Sounds a lot like a king, buddy.
Yeah. I feel like there's not been that many changes here. It's like everyone talks about the whole, like, Oliver Cromwell is a confusing man. I put him in the same category as Guy Fawkes, where I'm like, what he was trying to do.
What was your plan here, man?
Terrible. Like, he wanted to blow up Parliament and have us ruled by God.
That was his backup plan. He was like, okay, guys, here's what we'll do. We'll blow up Parliament. Whoa, okay.
That sounds amazing.
And then, bear with me, God, okay, he's in charge. Right. Good.
And then Guy Fawkes is like, interpret what he says. So it's like,
no wonder he got ratted out. He actually had a shit plan. That was the problem. And his mates were like, fuck this guy, literally. Like, yeah.
I think a lot of his mates were like, this is not going to work. Should we save him the fucking house?
The other thing I know about Cromwell is he made the theatre illegal. Like, that was one of the first things he did.
Yeah, because it was spreading dangerous,
very immoral ideas. Yeah, letting all these men dress as women, and it was just super gay at the time. Super gay at the time.
That was the biggest problem. They're just there like, this is far too flamboyant.
It is weird. He's buried in Westminster Cathedral, which is weird.
Yeah, same as like all the like dead prime ministers and
it's weird. I think they buried him there and then they dug him up and then like cut him up and put his head on a spike, but there's still like a stone in the cathedral with his words.
I love that. I think that's so fucking funny that there was a time in history when people were like, that prick's dead, but he needs punishing.
Yeah, just get him some more.
Yeah, they were like, dig up his corpse, fucking really show it.
Yeah. It's like,
and I hope.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was gonna say, I hope they were like still atheists in the past as well, but like they had to have a job, so they were like digging up this grave. It's like, this fucking idiot. He's like, this is gonna do nothing.
This is the fourth time we've dug up Cromwell. Can you fucking believe?
He wants us to what? Chop his body up. Why? Is he putting him in a box?
There's nothing left of him. Just dig.
Just chop up the bones.
It's like the origin of the word scapegoat when you find out what that actually is. And it's like they used to put goats on trial, find them guilty, and then kill them for crimes. And it would be like everybody knew Michael is the one that stole that hay. But instead they get this goat and they're like, how could you? We find you guilty. Kill him.
And the goat's like,
and they kill him.
Exactly.
It's like, I guess this solves the problem. Meanwhile, Michael's laughing with his stack of hay.
Do you think goats like hear the word scapegoat if a human ever says it and they're like, that is our word? You do not get to say that word. Like reclaiming it after all these years.
I like that.
It's a dark time in the goat's history.
You can see why goats have been blamed for a lot of shit. Have you ever seen a goat's eyes? Something
They're fucking demonic, mate. They're the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. They are terrifying creatures. I would understand.
Kill them.
It's the same reason why I completely understand why the Egyptians worshipped cats.
Yeah, go on.
It's like, they're the fifth state of matter. They're magical, weird creatures that nobody can understand. There's solid, liquid, gas, plasma, cat. That's pretty much all it is. I mean, obviously there's octopus as well, but we don't talk about them.
Right.
But yeah, I completely and cats. Like there's crazy shit. Like toxoplasmosis is the parasite that cats give people through their feces that makes them literally mind controlled into loving cats. Google it. It sounds like I made that up, but I did not. It's called
Well, the only part of
toxoplasmosis.
the logical chain that I got confused at is when you said it's what cats give humans through their feces, and I thought, Jake,
Yeah, so it's a
how are you
parasite that
taking care
lives.
of your cats? Because
I
I
don't
don't.
have cats. I'm not insane. Or I am insane, and that's why I don't have cats.
Exactly.
I don't know. But yeah, no, when they shit in the litter tray,
Yeah.
there are parasites that can
What do they do?
very
They
small parasites
just
that
float into
you
the
can
air.
breathe in.
You breathe
And
them
they
in,
get into your lungs.
and then you love your cat.
And then you have toxoplasmosis, which means that you have affection towards cats. It's got 3 stages. If pregnant women get it, it kills their baby. There's three phases to it. You can get toxoplasmosis infection and have no effect whatsoever. You can get toxoplasmosis and love cats, or you can get toxoplasmosis and die.
You can die from this. I've got a cat.
Yeah, I mean, you're not eating its shit, so I assume that you're okay for the most part.
I'm not.
No, at worst, you'll love cats and you'll think it's a perfectly normal thing because you own a cat, but in actual fact, the cat is controlling your mind.
This sounds like it's okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you find out like
it's not so bad.
Yeah, I mean, if the only side effect is I love my cat, it's like it's all right. I mean,
yeah.
What's it like? It's like, when people get like a worm in their belly, but if they're trying to lose weight, the worm eats.
Yeah, tapeworm or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they lose weight. It's like, well, sure, I'm feeding this belly worm and it's growing bigger every day, and one day it will kill me. But I look good in a suit.
Slim. Yeah, Kate Moss. I think there's a famous Kate Moss expression. Nothing tastes as good as a tapeworm feels.
That would be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coke Halo.
I remember. Yeah. She was big on it. First, she had a pet one that she would just swallow from time to time. Just a little pet tapeworm. You just knock it in for a bit and then just have a nice week of slim fast. As in slimming fast.
Those are some of my least favorite animals. Those weird sort of tube.
What, tapeworms?
Yeah. Have you ever seen? What's it called? I don't know what it's called. I used to know what it's called. It's like it's a being that lives in the sea. It's like a long tube and just.
It's got the fucking mouth.
It's just a mouth with loads of fucking teeth.
Yeah,
like,
that is.
This.
Yeah, I agree. That's a hellish creature.
Yeah.
But then again, like the fucking, is it hackfish or hagfish? You know is it hackfish? I think it's hackfish. It might be no.
I found my one. My one's called a lamprey. Hold on, I'll show you the lamprey. This one's mental. Yeah, there it is. Look at that.
Oh,
it's a fucking.
Why can't I see it?
Oh,
there we go.
There we go.
Yeah. So similar. It's similar.
It's similar to this.
Yeah. Check out the hagfish.
Okay.
Oh, it's fucking horrifying. Did you ever see the film Teeth?
No.
It's about a woman who had teeth in her vagina that tried to kill people.
Vagina dentate.
Indeed.
Is it good? Would you recommend?
Oh no, it's awful. It's a terrible film. Shockingly bad.
14 fun facts about hagfish. Oh God, what is this? This is disgusting. I don't want this.
It's horrifying, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just. Oh
my God, his face is even worse than my one.
Do you know what I mean? It looks like a fucking alien, man. That will burst out of a stomach any day now.
But on the plus side, looking slim.
Oh yeah. I want to. Do you know what I mean? Like I've never I really. Why is it that despite every fiber of my being repulsed by that,
yeah,
I want to stick my finger in it?
Just go dunk.
I just want to go. What?
Lube yourself up and get in there.
It's nasty. That's not even the one I was thinking of. What the fuck is the one I'm thinking of? It's in Finding Nemo, and it's got the
God.
It's got the dangly.
It's got the dang. Oh, do you mean the anglerfish?
Maybe, yes, I do mean the anglerfish.
Anglerfish is good because it tries to like lure things in with its. This guy.
Look at that. Yeah, that's
Fucking
that's the
wicked.
beast.
And the thing glows.
Yeah.
So wicked. I mean, it looks very demonic as well.
I want a lamp in the shape of one.
That's a good plan.
Do you know what I mean? How cool would that look? You just turn it on and it's only that bit that lights up, but you obviously just get the reflection of the face of that beast. I mean, look at it. It looks like a fucking corpse has started to grow gills. I don't understand it.
Wicked, yeah. It's basically not had to change its evolutionary tactic ever. Like it finished on this. This is beast.
Yeah.
Like it's like an alligator or something. It just finishes on that mode. It's like, I mean, I do everything perfectly now. I mean, depending on what you define by perfection. From an angle.
That's what I define as perfection.
Yeah.
That's what Kim Kardashian should strive to look like if she wants to impress me.
Tell you what, mate, when's your birthday? I'll get you an anglerfish lamp.
Do you think they exist?
I mean, you know how you said you think everything good was invented sort of within the last 100 years?
Yeah, this was the peak.
This is fun. There we go.
This is peak ingenuity. That is incredible.
These are pretty good. I'd get one of these. Etsy's full of, I mean, it's annoying that everything you could ever think of already exists on Etsy.
It's true. Have you ever bought anything from Etsy?
Yes, mainly gifts for females.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's pretty much.
It's one of those websites where it took me a long time to get into like eBay.
Right.
And I feel like Etsy is like 5 steps ahead of eBay
For sure.
in terms of complexity. Is everything an NFT on Etsy?
I don't understand NFTs. It seems like a scam.
It is a scam. It's the same as cryptocurrency. It's called a speculative bubble.
So
that's a bold statement, I know.
It is a bold statement, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to back it up. The way I understand it, it's on Ethereum, and that means it's the blockchain, so it should be trackable. But you can just trade them back and forth, and it makes them seem like they're worth like millions of dollars. But
yeah,
shell game. Is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what a speculative bubble is. So a speculative bubble is say for example, do you remember the boom in
tulips in the 16th century? Yes, I do.
Well, okay, that'll do. I was gonna say coins in the 80s.
Right. Yeah.
So old coins became very valuable in the 80s, and the only reason that is because an auction house and an owner of a lot of coins were the same person, so they were able to basically convince the rest of the world that coins were valuable,
worth money,
because they were selling the coins via their own auction house to themselves,
and then bidding them up,
and then publishing about the auctions, right? So then it happened. It's happening now, interestingly, with retro video games. So Super Mario was the latest one. A copy of Super Mario recently got sold for $1 million.
Ooh, you can just go to CEX and
to the auction house that was selling it.
Oh, so again, it's
to the owner of the auction. It's the same thing. It's a speculative bubble. So you get a product, you bump up the value of the product, but then you keep doing it until eventually the people that aren't involved in it latch onto it and become involved in it. And then that's the point at which it starts to grow exponentially. And there's no stopping it at that point. And it's the same with cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies it's a pyramid scheme. So it makes the people that initially invest in it money, but the only way that it makes them more money is more people invest in it. The only way that you get more people to invest in it is convince people that it's a real tangible thing. So you got loads of people that think they're making so much money, but they don't want to cash out because they think they can make more money the next day. So they keep investing in it, keep making the people at the top rich, while thinking that they're going to get rich, but then they never will, and they never do. And the later that you join into it, the more you're likely to be convinced that it's real, because there's so many other people that are involved in it at that point, but also the less likely you are to make anything of it. NFTs are exactly the same thing. It's basically the exact way that the art industry works.
Yeah.
Art should technically be worth nothing. Like art should be worth the canvas that it's painted on
and
the
cost of
supplies that
the
we use
raw
to paint it,
materials. Right.
and then arguably like something for the time, right? But it's
Labor.
not that at all. Yeah, essentially, right? It should cost no more than if I was to build you a barbecue out of bricks in your back garden, you
Right.
know. But it doesn't work like that because a speculative bubble, because of the
See, it's a bit like GME. I was in America for a friend's wedding last year, and I got cornered by the brother of the bride, who I didn't know very well. So I was being very polite, overly polite, as he talked to me for about an hour and a half. But meanwhile, he lives in his parents' basement. About an hour and a half about how GME was going to go to 10,000 a share, and he was going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. He was like, it's the gamma squeeze. And I just listened and nodded and said,
yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do. That's what I do every time anyone talks to me about anything like this. I mean, ultimately, it never, ever, ever changes from if something seems too good to be true, then it is. And if you can just sit there and mine a currency on your computer and then become rich off the back of it, and you don't question that for a second, I think then unfortunately you're a victim of a society that tells us that the biggest value that can be placed on a human is their bank balance.
When in fact it's there.
Well, it's their I think it's their ability to provide others with joy.
Credit report, correct.
Credit report, that's right, yeah.
Yeah,
I heard a beautiful expression the other day, which is two markers of success are the amount of time and light, the amount of space and light that you have. And I think that's a really good point, because growing up, like we were pretty broke, you know, we didn't have much space, but we had some windows. I had mates that were broke, you know, more poor than us, and they'd have like 6 siblings, and we'd all be gathering around their one window in their flat to try and get that sweet vitamin D when I'd be staying around the house, you know what I mean? Like, but it's a good point. And then if you go to like rich big houses, like I used to go to when I was working as a locksmith, these massive houses with a billion fucking windows and light everywhere, and like there'd be nothing out because they'd have 1,000 cupboards to store all of their stuff in. So I do think the biggest factors of success are probably light, space, and time, because the more time that you have, the more successful you are. The more space that you have to do things in, the more successful you are, and the more light you have.
I buy that. Do you know daylight robbery? You know where that phrase comes from?
I don't, but it's a great phrase.
Yeah,
probably work from work, right? There
was a window tax. It was like in the 17th century or something. There was a window tax. So if your property had more windows, you paid more tax. So people, they called it daylight robbery. So they'd brick up windows so you pay less tax.
Do you know what that's funny about that is that motherfuckers didn't even have that much glass back then. So you weren't even getting, like, a window was literally just a fucking hole in your house, man. You were getting taxed on having less wall.
Yeah.
It's like, I have less protection from the elements. That'll be another £50, please. All right, Prince John. You know what I mean? I'll fucking brick it back up. That's not fair, man. What if someone like hit your house with a cannonball? Will you suddenly hit with a massive tax bill?
That's a window.
Some cunt comes down to your house and he's like, I'll do the upstairs for free, mate. Like, get downstairs. Jesus. Madness, what, like...
Yeah.
Like, I was never that interested in, like, history in school. Like, school does a really good job of putting you off things. Absolutely. I think that's pretty much what it's designed for, to be honest with you. I think school is predominantly designed to remove creativity from children and make them more malleable as they reach adulthood, force them into making decisions they regret. Because as we all know, that once you've made a decision you regret off the back of school, it's very hard to get back on that decision. Most people don't want to recommit to like education, go back to like college, go back to university, learn something new. So they get forced to make a decision at the age of 15 after literally like 2 years of doing a subject. What do you want to do for the rest of your life? You want to go to college and study this? You want to get a job and do this, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and that's why we only get taught like dance and drama and musical theatre like once a week in most schools. You know what I mean? Whereas English, you have to do like 3 times, 4 times a day, like in some schools. You know, maths and science, all the things that will bore children because they're not taught by enthusiastic teachers. And I think history was the same thing. History, we just got taught about Henry VIII and the fucking Tudors for like fucking 5 years. And then once we got taught about the ancient Greeks, which was much more interesting. But for the most part, I think we're taught about a really lame part of history in the UK, which is a real shame because after you finish school, if you're like me, maybe like a decade later, you'll go, actually, this history stuff's quite interesting. Especially like a lot of the stuff they don't teach about. Like you say, the fucking window tax. What a fascinating fucking bit of English history that they had, like that they just don't teach about because I don't know, like the teachers don't know about it or like
it's correct. Like, they're bound by curriculums that are set by,
which is stupid, right? Because they should be bound by themes, not curriculum. So if you want to, I always thought this about English is the best way of best example of this, right? In English classes, they ask you to look for themes within stories.
Yeah.
But they stick to the stories. So the stories that my sister was having to read when she was at school, she's older than me,
right,
are the same ones that I had to read. And they're the same ones that kids now have to read. It's like A View from a Bridge.
Right.
Basically, Arthur. It's like The Great Gatsby, Blood Brothers,
Kill a Mockingbird.
They
haven't changed it for sort of 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't changed it, and they're boring fucking books in school. I'm not saying like To Kill a Mockingbird is a great story, yeah, but to read it for like in half-an-hour segments in school, like read out by unenthusiastic classmates or a teacher that doesn't want to be there, and then having to write about it for the next hour and a half, and then having to go back the next day or the next other day and then read about it again. That's not an engaging way of reading a story. And that's
even worse now. There's like way more emphasis on like grammar. It's like, okay, today we're learning the subjunctive clause. And you're like, I already want to tear my fucking hair out.
Yeah.
Why?
I want to turn off my computer after you said that fucking phrase. But but that's the thing, right? Is why can't they just say to the kids like, okay, well, pick your favorite story.
Yeah.
It can be your favorite comic book, it can be your favorite book, it can be anything, and just find within there a theme that fits this week's like word, you know. So we're looking for themes of love, we're looking for themes of tragedy, we're looking for themes of, I mean, if your favorite comic book's Batman, there's fucking loads of tragedy in there, man. His parents got murdered, for fuck's sake, like and it wouldn't be hard. And the teacher, if the teacher is a good English teacher, which I think most of them are, they would be able to get the context of an essay that a child wrote on a book they haven't read.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think a lot of my friends who are teachers are very frustrated by the
same.
Yeah, it's very it's overly controlled, and there's this massive emphasis on grammar and testing and standardized and all of this. They have very little leeway to actually do the thing that they trained and are employed to do.
Yeah, exactly, which is funny because it makes the training redundant almost.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It seems like they boiled it down to be anyone could do this so long as they're willing to do this, which is, I think, wrong and shouldn't be the case. I don't remember I remember like the names of my teachers, but
I remember
two of them,
ones or the bad ones, but
two of them made an impact in my life that I would consider like a long sort of standing impact. The rest of them seemed like they didn't want to be there. It seemed like they couldn't give a fuck. You know,
I remember Mr. Gabsdell. Actually, I had a great history teacher, Mr. Gabsdell. Shout out! And My English teacher got done for having a relationship with one of my classmates.
Really? One of my German teachers got done for that.
I think
That's so
it happens
funny.
more often with the foreign languages. I think there's something more, you know, this is the male and this is the female. It's like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. All those gendered fucking nouns and shit like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a hotbed of. Ours was a teaching assistant, not even a teacher, so it was even worse. And he took her to get beer, which is
hold on,
how he got caught.
that's a surefire way of getting caught. One absolute idiot.
Yeah, yeah, it really wasn't. Everyone, like, you know, when everyone, like, a room is going around and you
Yeah.
kind of put, like, you're like, that can't be true. But then again, I haven't seen that teacher in ages. And you're like, oh, it makes sense now. Yeah. I remember one of the teacher that stuck with me the most was Mr. Rockingham, shout out.
Shout
And Scotty Rockingham, he was a great teacher. He was my form tutor, the head of year, and also my German teacher, which was
and
really good.
You beer.
And he tried to have no. He was great. He just, like, you know, a teacher that kind of takes the way that a child learns and then adapts their style to that, rather than being like, everyone shut the fuck up and listen. And then, you know, it's just a much more sort of means testing teacher rather than a
engage with you on that level. Those people are rare, aren't they? I mean, I guess it's like any job, right? There's, like, most people are not very good at it, but we've got to have people doing it.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's like so much more important when it's a teacher.
Yeah, they should be paid like as much as MPs.
Yeah.
And they should be given a lot more flexibility. Like, every subject should be given flexibility. Like, what do you need to, like, in school? School should be about, like, creating intrigue in the minds of people. We seem to have this idea that, like, 15 is, or like 16 is, like, old.
Yeah.
Or you've grown up.
Right.
But 16-year-olds are still children. 18-year-olds in my mind are still children. They're not
idiots. Their brain hasn't even finished developing. Yeah.
It doesn't finish till like fucking 27 or some shit, doesn't it? But but which is why you shouldn't actually smoke weed until you're 27.
Oops.
But I know, fucked up on that one. I'd say it's done me no harm, but I have no, like, comparison. You know what I mean? Like, I can't access a version of me that didn't.
You can't talk to parallel universe Jake and see if that's true.
Exactly. I bet that prick's too busy to fucking talk to me. He's got a successful job as president of the United States.
So you're the next automatic checkout.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate. This has been fantastic, dude. I wish we could talk again. Will you come back on the podcast? Let's do this again.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, sorry it took me so long to, like, get onto it. There was shit going on.
Yeah, we tried to arrange this a few times, didn't we? But, you know, it is a pandemic.
Yeah, well, I have to wear these glasses now, you see, because if I sit in front of a monitor,
like Edgar David's?
A little bit, yeah. Only, like, he was just fucking straight up blind, right? He was a miracle. He was like the Stevie Wonder of football.
I'm not sure.
What did he have? Did he have a motion vision problem?
I actually don't know. I just knew he had to wear these cool yellow sunglasses.
It was amazing, yeah.
Why I assume you do as well.
Jealous of his. Cool. Yeah, I'm really good at football when I wear these glasses.
Do you really have to wear them, or are those like blue light glasses type thing?
These are blue light glasses, yeah, but I do have to wear them. I get severe migraines if I look at blue light. Like, as in, I'm out for like 2 days minimum if I get one. Yeah, so I have to wear these every time I sit in front of a monitor, which is funny because I stream on Twitch, which means I have to wear these for like 4 or 5 hours at a time.
But they work.
They do fucking work, and they were $4.99 on Amazon.
Boom! Shout out! You're the Edgar Davids of comedy, clearly, and Twitch.
Yeah, I think he had some sort of motion.
I think it was something to do with rods and cones. Buzzwords. It's all rods and cones these days, mate.
Yeah. Some people are born, we have 3 cones in our eye as standard. Some people are born with 4 cones in their eyes. We can see 256 colors normally, but they can see over 1,000.
Really?
Think about that. Yeah. You can't even comprehend it, can you? It's
That's
not,
like
it's,
4 times. Well, I'm colorblind, so I've got even less. There's
which
no way
one
I
are
can see
you?
256. I've got 3 different types of color blindness, so I'm fucked.
Holy fuck, really?
Yeah, I'm fucked. Well, I did.
You're not
I once managed to
monochromatic,
convince
are
a
you?
friend that I was monochromatic. I convinced.
Did you really? Yeah.
She was like, I feel so bad for you. And when I broke the news to her that I was taking the piss, she didn't speak to me for a month.
That's crazy though. So you see have you ever tried the glasses?
I've got some of the glasses. Yeah, they're amazing.
Have you? Are they?
Somewhere there's a video that's a bit like those cheesy ones you see on the internet. We're like, whoa,
Yeah.
first time, that kind of thing. Well, it is amazing. And you know those color blindness tests where they hide letters and stuff in them?
Yeah, I've done them loads.
Yeah. If I take the test with the glasses on, I score much higher than without the glasses. It's fucking wicked.
That's incredible. Well,
Yeah.
I can't even I can't ever wrap my head around how fucking incredible that technology is. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's amazing.
it does not compute in my head that something that is registered in your brain can be changed through something externally worn on your face. Like, what?
I have no idea. I have no idea how they did it. Oh, here we go. David's had glaucoma.
Oh yeah,
that's what it was.
that's just in one eye, I presume. How the fuck was he that good at football? Man used to take free kicks.
Yeah.
For Holland.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't even just average. He was fucking amazing.
He was one of my favorite players to watch growing up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just because of how cool he looked. It was very good.
Amen.
I hope he's doing all right. Shout out Edgar David.
He died of COVID, of course.
Did he? That's Joey. That's how crazy COVID's been. I'm like, anyone could be dead right now.
You can definitely, you can input any name and then say he died of COVID, of course.
JJ Kocher died of COVID, didn't he?
Got him. Well, look, I hope it doesn't get you, Mr. Pickford. You seem to have dodged it so far, as have I. We're fucking beating the Matrix one game at a time. Have you seen that new Matrix movie? That looks like a hot pile of shit, doesn't it?
No. I haven't actually seen the third Matrix movie.
No, I think I switched it off about halfway through. I was like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, I watched the first one. They should have left it there. I don't know why they didn't. Like, it's great, but I don't think anyone ever watches Keanu Reeves and thinks this man is a fucking theatrical phenomenon.
Wild Stallions, though, dude.
Oh yeah, obviously. His best work. They made a third one of that, didn't they, recently?
Yeah, I actually saw that. I saw that in lockdown. We were the only people in the cinema, and it was okay.
Yeah, that's, to be honest with you, that's exactly what I expected from it, to be honest. I watched the trailer and I thought, oh yeah, I bet that'll be okay. Distinctly average. You know, when someone describes something as, yeah, it wasn't shit.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
That's not bad these days.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Well, this has been anything but shit. You see how I'm joining
Your segues are phenomenal, and I really like the fact that you're trying to end it, and I will let you.
Yeah, unfortunately, gotta go. But come back on soon. It's been really nice to chat.
Yeah, nice one. Hopefully we can catch up in real life soon as well when the world gets back to fully normal.
Amen. Take care, brother. Nice to see you.
You too, man. Have a good one.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the show. If you've enjoyed it, please give us 5 stars and consider becoming a subscriber and maybe even supporting us on Patreon. Really, really, really helps me continue making this show. If you haven't enjoyed it, then you can fuck off. Many, many thanks to Nils Hennis Steer for the amazing music and to Dave Fox for the cool artwork. Please keep coming back every week for more Bliss of the Abyss.
Message 1.